Good morning, dear students of class 8th. I welcome you all to this new class of social science, wherein we are studying civics, revising chapter 1, the Indian Constitution, wherein we discuss what is Indian Constitution, why do we need it. Then, children, we have come to the next heading of the chapter, which is the key features of Indian Constitution. Now, children, the key features here talks about that the important points which were kept in mind while framing the constitution. Children, a group of 300 people became the members of the Constituent Assembly in 1946, and they have written the India's constitution. While writing the Indian constitution, the members kept in mind the different communities of the country, the groups which speak different languages, different religions, and different culture, to keep everybody on the same platform, children. Then, children, now we are going to discuss one by one the key features of Indian Constitution. Number one, federalism. Now, children, this refers to the existence of more than one level of government in the country. One level of government in the country means the constitution says that in India we have governments at the state level, the central level, and the panchayat level, that is the village level also. So more than one level of government talks about federalism. First key feature. Number two, parliamentary form of government. The people of India have a direct role in electing their representatives. Also, every citizen of the country, irrespective of his or her social background, in elections. So that right to select your own government talks about parliamentary form of government, because we, in spite of any religious background, in spite of any social backgrounds, we are electing our representatives. So that is number two, which is parliamentary form of government. Number three, separation of powers. Means in our parliamentary form of government, where we have federalism, where we have more than one government level. If we have more than one government level, we have to have separation of powers. Means everybody is looking into all the affairs. That is not right. So we have separation of the powers. How? Number one, the three organs of the government. How we have separation of the powers? The three organs of the government, which is number one, the legislature. In this, it refers to the elected representatives of the people. Legislature is compiled of the elected representative. Number two, the executive. It is a smaller group of people who are responsible for implementing laws and running the government. Can you understand? Legislature, total elected representatives. Then executive, someone who executes. So this group is small, and the members are responsible to implement rules and the laws, and they are running the government. And the third is judiciary, which is the court system of our country. So the three organs of the government, where we have separation of powers, the legislature, executive, and the judiciary. So legislature is elected representatives, the executive, group of people who implement rules and laws and they run the government, and number three, judiciary, the court system of India. Now, children, each organ mentioned above acts as a check on the other organs of the government. So like this, the three-tier system, we have the cross connectivity. Every organ may check the other two organs of the government. So I hope this much is clear. The fourth key feature, children. The fourth key feature is fundamental rights, which you all are aware of. You people are aware of your rights. It is my right to know. It is my right to speak. You people are aware of fundamental rights. So the Constitution of India guarantees its citizens different rights of individuals against the state as well as against other individuals. This means we as citizens of India have been guaranteed some rights against anything which is wrongly done by the state or any other individual who does wrong to us. So we have certain rights, right? So what are those rights, children? Number one, right to equality. Number two, right to freedom. Number three, right against exploitation. Number four, right to freedom of religion. Number five, we have cultural and educational rights. And number six, right to constitutional remedies. So, children, fundamental rights have twofold objectives. What are the objectives of these fundamental rights? Number one, every citizen must be in a position to claim fundamental rights. So, what the objective is? For example, I have given my class 6B certain rights. So, what is the objective in my mind? To give them some role, right? So, the objectives of the government giving us fundamental rights is every citizen must be in a position to claim fundamental rights. We know how to use at right time. Number two, fundamental rights must be binding upon every authority that has got the power. Means every authority of the government is supposed to have binding force of these fundamental rights. Nobody in this country can claim to have no regards with these fundamental rights. So these are the two objectives. And the fifth key feature of Indian Constitution is secularism. Children, we all have been hearing this word in news channels a lot these days. Most of us know the meaning of secularism. Secularism, to actually understand, is having equal, privilege, equal weightage to all the religions. A secular state is one state that does not officially promote any one religion. We have equal respect, equal weightage to all the religions. So with this we complete the key features of the Indian Constitution, and we have revised chapter 1 in civics, which is the Indian Constitution. So children, by now you must have received the syllabus. Work hard, study hard. If you have any doubt, you have my contact number in the class groups. You may WhatsApp your questions or you may call and ask. But for that you need to ensure that you have completed the written. So thank you so much, children. Have a nice day and take care.